Good afternoon, everybody. This is Marsha Jones, Executive Director of the Afia Center, and I'm glad to have y'all out with us today. I'm here working with our street team, and the street team is the organizing arm of the organization. They're out there in the streets representing the folk, talking to the people, providing information, getting your feedback, just literally a part of the community that we serve. And so that's pretty much what the street team do. So you see them around and about, stop, talk to them, let them know what you think that the community need, what you think that those people who are representing the community need to know, so that we can make sure that they know, so that you can get what you need. So I'm here today. I'm going to be talking with one of our candidates for the Dallas City Council, Mr. Johnson. I will allow him to introduce himself, but Mr. Maxie Johnson will be running for District City Council seat 4, but he currently holds a position of trustee District 5 for the school board. And so that's kind of cool because for the better part, he's still looking to represent the same people. And so we're going to be talking about what him running for city council will mean, but more than what it's going to mean for him, what it's going to mean for the people that he's going to serve. Because this is the Afia Center, and we're here for the people. And we want to make sure that the people who say that they are representing the people are representing them in that way. I also want you all to know, people listening, this is not an endorsement. The Afia Center talk to anybody that'll talk to us. So whoever you are, if you are representing the people that we serve, we want to talk to you. Talking to us don't mean an endorsement, but we also not here to tear down, or we're here to build. And so we want to see, what does it mean? Like, who will be the best person to serve the people who we are, the people that we serve. So that's why we're going to be talking to Mr. Johnson today. So I thank you for coming to talk to us.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people, I think sometimes a lot of people probably won't talk to us because they like, oh, that's the offense. But we don't hijack people. We don't get people in a place to try and harm them in any kind of way. We really do want to make sure that the people that you are called to serve know that you are serving them. And they tell me that you're a preacher.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I'm a preacher too.
Okay.
So we're not going to get in here and do no 7 last words.
We ain't doing that. We done did that already. We're not doing that.
But more than that, I have a heart for preachers though, and for pastors especially. I served as my pastor's secretary for 25 years.
Wow.
And I did it with joy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did it with joy. I'm that girl that I take care of the preachers.
Absolutely.
So get a pass. No.
No, don't give him no pass.
No,
Let's keep it 100.
I hold the preacher to a whole different standard.
Absolutely.
But yeah. But I just thought I'd throw that in. I was like, I know he was a little preacher child. I love preachers. I don't see how I was talking about Dominique. But no. So we're just going to talk. So this conversation with me, I know you've been talking to a lot of people. You've been having a lot. People ask you a lot of questions. I'm not going to ask you a lot of questions. We're just going to talk. So I want you to start out telling people about you, and then we'll talk from there.
Absolutely. Well, I'm a city boy. I grew up in Dallas. I went to Albert Sidney Johnston Elementary School, O.W. Holmes, Roosevelt. Then I graduated from a Marsha Smith. I was drum major there. I played in the jazz band at Holmesville and in Marsha Smith. Mr. Dean Hills was my band teacher at Holmes. Mr. Rob, band teacher at Roosevelt. And I was blessed to meet Mr. Cecil Neal, who's gone on to be with the Lord at Maceo. And we've done a lot of work in our community. I pastor in District 4 for many years, or 5 in my school board seat, and I now pastor in New Morning Star, Missionary Baptist Church in West Dallas. Recently just got married, September the 21st, 2024, so I married a beautiful woman. And so God has blessed us.
You better say she's beautiful if nobody else does.
That's how she's beautiful.
I'm sorry.
I got one. I married up.
All right, then.
I married up. Strong black woman.
That's it.
Absolutely. Been on the school board, ran for school board Due to the deplorable conditions over at South Oak Cliff High School, I was the PTA president, site-based decision-making chair. My son, all my children went to SOC. I was a community liaison for the community, working for Dallas ISD as a community liaison. So I'm already in the streets, work with our parents and community. And we saw the condition of South Oak Cliff High School, and I decided to run for the seat. And God blessed me to win. Over 3,300 people voted for me.
That's good.
And since we've been on the school board, we've done a lot of work with our community, making sure that we got equity in our community when it comes to infrastructure. So that's why you see a lot of the buildings going up. You got South Oak Cliff received $52 million. Roosevelt received $64 million. H.I. Holler right now building a $20 million extension. And then if you go down Keys across from the library, we building an $80 million state-of-the-art O.W. Homes. We named the academy after John Lewis, so it's John Lewis Social Justice Academy at O.W. Homes. Then you go around the corner to W.W. Bushman. We named after Albert C. Black. And that's a $50 million STEAM school, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, with the focus on financial literacy for elementary kids.
Okay.
So that's just a few things. Of course, my district goes from Woodman, Texas, Oak Cliff, Uptown, Downtown, Paul Quinn area, Arlington Park. So I got a lot of the stretch across the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And lastly, that we're getting ready to do, that's already in the making, is the IB school on Paul Quinn campus. So Dallas ISD was partnering with
explain that so people will know what that is.
No, Paul Quinn campus. Paul Quinn College is formerly Bishop College, and so Dallas ISD was partnering with the SMUs, the UNTs, but they wouldn't partner with the only HBCU school we had in the city of Dallas, and that didn't sit well with me.
Right.
So while we can partner with every other school, but not our black college. So we're now partnering with Mike Sorrell, and we're building a $50 million state-of-the-art IB school, which is a very, very rigorous program. But the great thing about that, those kids get up and leave up to 40 some credit hours, and those credit hours go anywhere in the world, transfer. And we named that after Pastor Freddie Haynes.
Okay.
And so the community was supporting it, and we've done a lot of work in our community for our kids, and we're going to continue to do great work on the city council.
So that's good. I mean, so that's a lot of work that you've done. So of course we do a lot of social justice and human rights stuff here. That's what we're about. A lot of people think when they hear the Afia Center, or it's a reproductive justice organization, and the first thing they think about, oh, they just over there doing like abortion work. No, that's not who we are. This is not the time for me to do an RJ 101, but that's not who we are. Reproductive justice is centered and grounded in social justice and human rights. And so that's the lens in which we do our work from. So it's important that economic development and growth is happening, and that we
Absolutely.
are looking at violence in our communities. We're looking at maternal mortality. We're looking at access to health care. Like, what does that look like? And I know personally, I've lived in Oak Cliff all my life. I was born and raised in Joplin. And so all the schools you're talking about, I went to when I left, I actually went to Pierce.
Okay.
Pierce was a school, Pierce Elementary High School. My brothers graduated from Pierce. My sisters went to Pierce, and then when integration started, then we started going to the other schools. So I went to Wilmer Elementary School.
Okay.
And then I went to Oliver Wendell Holmes when I moved to Oak Cliff and live with my mother. And so all the schools you're talking about, I've been out. Lived at Holmes, lived on Hutchins Road, right down the street from Road. So right into the parking lot of Roosevelt. All of that stuff. So I went to Paul Quinn. So I get it. I understand how important it is, but I've not seen real dedication to Oak Cliff from our city council folk. I just haven't. We've been in this building for 2 years and not one. The only city council person to come to this building.
Who was it?
Was District 7.
Okay.
What's his name?
Adam Balzador.
Adam Balzador.
Okay.
And it's not too much we don't ask him that he won't do.
Okay.
Not the current District 4, which is interesting for me because the work we do here centers Black women.
Absolutely.
And so I just want to know, I know we're not the only organization that's probably said this. One of the things that I want to know is, so one, I want to say this. I think that it is definitely time for a changing of God. we're at this time now. We have got to have younger folk sitting in these spaces with greater ideas. This is a changing world that we're living in right now.
Absolutely.
And all of the stuff that's happening in DC, that's happening in Austin, is going to impact us in Dallas. So I want to know, like, how committed are to you and with the power that you have as a city council person and really fighting for real change so that organizations like our organization will know that they're seen and they're heard and they're valued. Like, I get more from Tony Rose, who sits
Tony,
in Austin,
our state rep
than I do
is a
from
wonderful
the
person.
people who are city council people sitting right here. Like, we are a whole birth center here who provide every third Saturday we have a health, what we call it, easy access clinic where people can come get free health services, and we get no support from city council people. And so
Wow.
not just us, but organizations like us, like, what is your commitment to making sure that you are supporting these people who are on the ground serving the people that you serve?
But let me give a shout out because you mentioned State Representative Tony Rose.
She's the best in the world.
She's awesome. State rep always. Now, when you talking about
And
people
I don't
that
disrespect her by saying Tony. I definitely
no,
call
no,
her
no, no,
state
yeah,
rep,
no,
but she's
yeah,
just
yeah,
so
she good,
familiar
yeah,
with us.
absolutely, she's family. I love her. She has been one when when I was the infancy of me being an elected official. Uh, spent a lot of time on the phone with me. Mentoring and guiding and giving me some advice, and so I appreciate her very much. She is a great state rep, and it's funny that you said that because I'm an organizer, I'm an activist. I come from the streets,
That's
and
me.
and
I'm
so
just an ED just to be an ED,
and
but I'm an organizer.
and she tells her all the time, you're an elected official now, and so you have to do things this way. And she really help not lose who I am, but add to what I am and how I do things. Um, I'm very dedicated because that's who I am. I'm a social justifier. I didn't get here because I'm a politician.
Yeah.
I'm in a political seat. But what we did in District 5 and what the community did is when I ran for this seat, we flipped this seat. We put an organizer in the seat, an activist, someone that's from us, from the community, that's grassroots. I was out there protesting,
Yeah.
for social justice issues with Pastor Haynes, with guys like Dominique Alexander, with other organizations, the South Oak Cliff Alumni Barricade, people like Patricia Allen, that's with No More Violence, and Taylor Torrance of Fort Cliff. I'm in the grassroots, and as we say, getting it out the mud with them, and so people saw that. Before we even was elected, we worked with Taylor Torrance, Batty, a brother named Derek Batty, who's the community liaison, a former NBA player, and the principal at South Oak Cliff. And we got that park right across the street from South Oak Cliff High School, working with Randy Bowman, who helped give us the land. Without him, none of this would have been. And it has brought crime down 50%. But we got rid of that blight. So I'm in the streets with our community, working with our community, and I'm very dedicated to, because a lot of the things that you see being done on the school board in District 5, all of those ideas was not my ideas. You got people like Tony Johnson over at Roosevelt Alumni who always give ideas, and we're working together, and so many people that are working together, and that's what you got when you come with me. When you see me, you may see me, but you better believe it's a whole lot of folks not behind me, beside me, and sometimes in front of me, making sure that we get things done. I tell people I'm not afraid of people's geniuses. I keep people around me that's smarter than me. So we can make the right decisions and go the way that we need to go for our community. So I'm very dedicated. I think my record shows that, and we're going to continue to keep 100 and be real.
Okay. So we always have to talk about the not so cute stuff, and so I was looking at so how do you feel with all of this amazing work that you've done, and I do applaud you for that, because all of those schools very much needed the work that you've done, with you having a, what does it say, received a Bad Apple Award, um, and it had a lot to do with the disparities and the lack of resources in your zip codes in education District 5. So those lack of resources is why you received a bad apple award. Um,
Let's talk
there's a
about that.
couple of ways that you can look at that. Now, I don't even know that much about the bad apple award,
Yeah,
but I know for me, but yeah, because I look at the stuff a little differently than other people, because sometimes people have reasons that they call you bad. But anyway, a lot of it, I think it was like the 70% of the school board, like you all being 70%
Yeah.
under. So how does it make you feel?
well, when I
Not so
looked
much
at,
how you make feels. I don't really care how you feel. When I said feel,
yeah,
'cause
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what's
yeah.
wrong with us now. We walking around here with how we feel when we need to get past how we feel and how do we do the work.
I
So,
can tell you, without trying to go over people's head that's listening, we have domain 1 and domain 2 and domain 3 in Dallas ISD. He gave a partial report, but let's talk about what this newspaper is. I think what's that, the Dallas Express?
uh-huh.
So Dallas Express back in the day was a black newspaper that talked against lynch mobbing and racism that white people was doing to black people. This guy name is Monty Bennett. He wants to be the city of Dallas, Elon Musk. So what he did was he took a black newspaper and flipped it. This is when they was trying to support vouchers.
Okay.
So he came after a lot of the black trustees and black elected officials. I haven't seen too many white people that he talked about,
probably won't.
and said that we abandoned 8,000 kids. Somebody else abandoned, I think 10,000. And so this was them trying to, when vouchers didn't get passed the first time, trying to show that. But no one has abandoned 8,000 kids. I tell people to check the source out and look up who the owner is, and you will see that Starch Republican, like State Flow. Y'all remember
Yeah.
State Flow? Starch,
remember-
State
I
Flow,
remember
Starch
State Flow.
Republican. And so
I like that.
that's what that's about. But when you see the work, no, we haven't abandoned our children.
Right.
I got on this school board fighting for our black and brown kids. And so when you're looking at what's going on, just give an example of South Oak Cliff High School. I told you, give us the resources we can perform academically and athletically, and we're doing it. And kids are going to college, not just at that school, but several kids. And not only that, but we put where now you can get your associate's degree and graduate with your associate's degree and high school diploma, and you have a skill set, because everyone is not going to go to college, but they'll never be able to come out and get a job. And we want to do that because they ain't got no job. They're going to be robbing houses.
Right.
So I tell people, education and inequity leads to poverty, and poverty leads to violence. You want to fix the violence, you got to fix the poverty.
You got to.
If you fix the poverty, you got to give jobs. You got to educate our community and educate the kid. And so that's what we've done. That was just a political attack, which you have that going on. And he reported some data, but he didn't report all data. Trustee Johnson or no trustee teach any school. We don't lead. We're not principal. We're a board of governors. We give the policy. We give the resources so our community and our kids can get everything that they're needing. And that's what we're doing.
And it's important. And the reason why I asked you that out of all the things I would have asked is because people win elections based on like bad information or people saying stuff and nobody ever asking it and nobody ever addressing it. And so then you'll have people walking around saying, oh, well, this person didn't do that, this person didn't do. So I'm not afraid to ask like questions like that.
Yeah, I'm not afraid.
I think it's very important.
And I don't run from it.
Yeah, because people got to know, if not, they'll be walking around basing everything they know on assumptions, or they'll just assume that it's true because it's said on a piece of paper. Saying on a piece of paper means absolutely nothing. So when I was saying bad apple, for me, sometimes people tend to see me as like this bad person, right? I'm not a bad person. I'm just not afraid to go into bad places.
Right,
I'm
right.
not afraid to challenge
Absolutely.
situations and things that I know that's not good for us and not good for me. I'll challenge it all day, every day. So I get this little kind of rough kind of reputation. People are like, oh, that's Marsha. Yeah, you absolutely right. That's Marsha. So that's what I was saying. Bad apple don't have to mean, it means that you've done something that offended somebody that was trying to do something that they thought they could get away with. That's sometimes what it can
when
mean.
you look at the infrastructure that we've done in District 5 alone, you'll probably never see this again in our lifestyle. That over $400 million that I was able to bring back to District 5 for our kids. And this is documented. And I didn't get there by coming up there and being quiet and playing top politics. People may not like my style, but I get results.
Exactly.
And when you've been in a community that's been disproportionately disenfranchised, ignored, underfunded, and underserved, I'm sorry, we can't go in there being timid and just trying to be nice to everybody and friends. My people, the people in District 5, did not vote for me to go be friendly. They wanted results because our community was lacking, our kids was lacking, and that's what I've done. and I speak truth to power. And people may not like how I said it, but they can't say that I'm being lying or not being truthful about it. Is the bottom line is what I'm saying factual.
Right.
And if it's factual, don't excuse the tone.
The
Let's
rest
get
don't matter.
let's get the stuff done, because we got a lot of upset people in our community because we have been ignored,
Right.
and they're grateful to have somebody finally in this seat that's speaking the truth and saying, "Hey, this is what we're going," and standing with them. I give my numbers to everybody, my community, my kids, and they use it.
Yeah.
And so that's what I am. I'm a transparent and accountable
And that's what we need.
guy.
We need transparency. So that horseshoe is interesting in Dallas.
That's what they telling me.
It's interesting,
Yeah.
and I think so many politicians go there with the intention, the mindset that you have, but that thing have a way of pulling them in, and before you know it, they playing politics as usual, you know. And so, what are you gonna do differently that the person who's currently holding this seat, what will you do differently than she's done?
Include the entire community, not those that support me.
Well, now that, yeah.
You know, and I don't have nothing against our dear
I don't have
councilwoman,
anything against
but I'm a
anybody,
lot.
but
I am
it's
different than her.
facts
She
for
is.
me. I
Yeah.
don't do stuff based on friendship. Like anybody in here, even inside of this space, I work inside of a space. It's a very familiar space here, but anybody will tell you, I don't play with nobody here.
Right. Right.
That's my son, but that he's expected to do a thing here.
Absolutely.
He's gonna do it, or he's not gonna be here, but he'll still be my son.
Right. Right.
They
Right.
don't
Right.
have
Absolutely.
anything
Right.
to do with
Absolutely.
the other.
Yeah.
You know.
And no, I'm very different because I'm from the community and I'm grassroots. So my thoughts are different. And we just had this conversation with one of the guys today, how people come and get in the office and they mean well, but they change because they're looking at the votes one way, trying to get things done and try to get support from their colleagues. Then they're stuck in the middle because then they're looking at the community, and then you need the community to continue to vote for you. And so my thing is to continue to do what I've been doing on the school board. Is be factual, study. The Bible says, "Study to show thyself approved, but work will not be ashamed, but rightly divine the word approved." But that's not just scripture; that's principle.
That's it.
You have to study to show yourself approved. And so I've been on the school board 6 years. 4 of those years, I've been the school board's policy chair, so the board of trustees policy chair. And we always talking about getting in there and making a difference and flipping it. Well, the only way you could change things, you have to change the policy.
Exactly.
And we've been able to change some policies and get things done for our kids and for our community. And so on the school board, you got to count to 5 to get things done. On the city council, you got to count to 8. One thing I've been grateful to have is the relationships that I have built. And I didn't have to compromise who I am to build those relationships. And I told them, I brought my colleagues out to my community, those that don't look like me, and say, when you see me going off in this manner or being what y'all call very passionate, I want you to see the blight that we are experiencing and see why I need your support and I need these resources. And I bring them out and I show them and say, this is very different from where you live. And they get it, they hear it, and then I let them talk to some of our community members and our kids. And so it touched their heart. They understand what's going on. So when I get ready to go and get things done for our community, I have their support because I created the atmosphere of transparency. And so we're going to do the same thing on the city council. We have those relationships because my district is so wide on the school board that I'm able to work with a lot of those council members. And so God bless me to win this race, which I believe he is. We're going to take the community down. My slogan is building the community with the community.
That's it.
That's how we're going to do it. That's been my success. And we don't make decisions without a community.
Yeah.
As a school board, I told people I would bring you to the table in the beginning of projects, not after projects are done, then come, or in the middle, then come back and say, what's your idea? No, we're going to do it in the beginning of the process, in the infancy of these projects, so we get what everybody needs, everybody ideal, so we can have a holistic approach to what we need to do for our community. And that's what we're going to do.
Is there any one?
Oh, thank you.
Is there any one thing? There's a lot of things that have to be done. So this is a two-part question. What is the one thing that motivated you to want to run for this office? Not the fact that this, she couldn't run again after this year or whatever. She could have ran against her at any given time, right? So, what is the one thing that motivated you to run for this office? And then with that motivation, how does that drive the one thing that if like if there's nothing else that you get done that's bothered you, because there's got to be a reason that people said they're going to run for office. There was a reason that I said I wanted to do the work that I do. That I left corporate America and said,
Yeah,
no, I
yeah.
got to stop. I got to do this. So there was a thing that drove me to do that. So it was a one thing that said I'm running for that office because this thing has to happen if I don't do anything else in District 4.
Absolutely. I ran for city council against our dear councilwoman in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And it took it to a runoff, and it was a very, very close race.
Mm-hmm.
And so I ran in for this same reason. I saw
So
our
that's
community.
after she ran after okay.
That was she was still a council member then.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so I ran against her. It was a very tight race. I lost in a runoff by a very small margin. And so I ran because I saw too many blights, too many problems as a school board trustee. And I'm fighting one way, and then I'm sitting here seeing things not getting done and trying to get the infrastructure of schools taken care of. Yeah, but the infrastructure around the schools are not right. We have unsafe community. And then you're looking at it 4 more years later, and it's the same situation. It's not getting any better. When I won school board, my oldest boy was killed due to gun violence, right on Utah. So I know what it's like to lose a child due to senseless gun violence. That's my oldest son. So then as a football coach in our community and a pastor in our community, to continue to see crime high. Mm-hmm. and lack of resources and not including everyone in meetings and in our community, that was something I'm very, very passionate about, because in order to get I told people involvement brings investment. If you want me to invest my time, talent, and treasure, get me involved. I'll give you my time, I'll give you my talent, and I'll even give you my treasure and sacrifice.
Yeah.
And that wasn't being done. And so that was the reason why I said, you know what, enough is enough. I'm going to go ahead and run. People asked me to run. I kept saying, I need to pray about this.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing great work on the school board.
Right.
And so when I saw the blight, we losing grocery store. We don't even have a grocery store in certain parts of District 4. We got Fiesta, of course. We got Walmart. But, we need some real grocery stores, some quality produce for our senior citizens, for our community. We have lost our drugstores. Mm-hmm. So our senior citizens now, and we talking about, let's go down to Langston Keys where you had that Walgreens. Mm-hmm. Then you go over to Beckley and Illinois where you had the CVS, where our senior citizens going to get their medicine. Now, sometimes they mail it. Get it mailed to the house.
There's a lot of things you do at the drugstore.
So the economic development, but mostly that public safety piece. Mm-hmm. We hear the gunshots in our community at nighttime. We've seen kids getting killed. We've seen a tragedy happen in our community. And so that was the reason I said we have to clean up District 4. Mm-hmm. In order to get economic development where we can create jobs, we have to clean up and make it a safe District 4. We have to support those CVI programs, that crime, violence interrupter programs, that those boots on the ground. We talking about grassroots, those guys that have lived experience. Fund those programs again. Make sure we have community police. And one thing I want to do is bring a police storefront, a code resource center in our community, in the highest crime area. Make sure we have those wraparound supports with DART and all those information for our community, so we can fix up our community, make District 4 safe, and then we can focus on building it back where it used to be when we had our own Langston Keys Shopping Center, and had a mall, and had a bowling alley there, and go up the street where we had our own theater, and get things back to where it used to be in a safe manner. So that was the reason why I ran for this particular seat in 2021, and to see the same problems existing, it said enough is enough. And I think the community have seen the work that I've done on the school board, and they're saying, you get things done, and we're going to give you a chance.
Yeah, so I know we're getting ready to get down, but I want to back up. I want to talk about the police storefront. So there's this uneasy relationship that we have with the police. Mm-hmm. It's a very uneasy relationship. And all the time we don't necessarily feel safe with a greater police presence, but as we work through, um, as we work through that relationship, that police, the over policing of Black folk, um, we got to have something until we get there, right?
Right.
And so, what are you gonna do to kind of bridge that relationship? Because again, I'm I'm 63-year-old Black woman, and I'm not always safe. I don't feel safe as I feel like I need to with high police presence. But then on the other side, I know without high police presence, some of the things that I'm going to be faced with. So, what are you going to do to bridge that relationship to help us so that the police know that storefront is here, but it's here as a resource for our community. It's here for all of the things that you've said, but also community know that that's what they're here for. And so, how do we make that happen?
Community policing to me is involving our community together with
So,
those
community
decisions.
policing.
Yes.
Okay.
Those when you're talking about those CVI programs, that's crime violence interrupters that Mayor Johnson brought to the table. Some of our local organizing groups are part of those crime violence interrupters that understand what's going on in our community, making sure that we light it up. Those dim lights that we see on Marsalis and going down the street, we need to light up the community.
Yeah.
And have highlights. So it's easy when to do crime in the dark, but don't too many people want to do crime
Right.
when it's light. So building that relationship, and our officers have to come out and be a part of our community. Now, with anything, you got bad and good in
Oh, yeah.
everything. However, when crime happens, we want our police to be there to give aid to the community, but we don't want our police to be there to bring more violence to our community.
Right.
And so I agree with you. We all have those uncertainties concerning our officers. So we're going to create an opportunity where community policing, but also an opportunity where we are knowing what's going on. One of the things that I said we need to do is giving a housing incentive to our police officers so they can live where they work.
Yeah. Now that,
And,
yeah.
and that's one of the things that we need to make sure, because it's one thing when you see an officer with a badge on. It's another thing when the officer with a badge lives next door.
Yeah.
And you know Mr. John because he's your neighbor, and you're not looking at the badge, you're looking at Mr. John.
Yeah.
And so that's those things used to happen back in the day, and we got to get back to that. But we got to give our officers a housing incentive and work so they could, not just our officers,
Yeah.
but our educators, our firefighters,
I mean, and
so they can live where they work.
I remember when I went to school. I remember back when I went to Pierce. I knew all of my teachers because they lived in my community. I mean, I know you're probably familiar with the McGriff family.
Absolutely.
Miss Maxine McGriff was one of my teachers, like their sister, Miss Maxine. Yeah, she was one of my teachers. Like, and the McGriffs lived around the corner.
I think they live on Keys. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were before they moved there. They lived in Joppy.
Okay. Okay.
And so they were a part of. And so, just like Miss Maxine was my teacher, we also had dinner at Miss Maxine's house.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Or they had, I went to school with my brothers and my sisters, because of course she was older. But all of my teachers, when I went to school, lived in Joppy. They either lived in Joppy or they lived in Singing Hills.
Yep. Yeah.
But it was just kind of like all these same people. So yeah, it make a difference. She was more than just my teacher or my educator. She was my community.
Absolutely. And that's how we have to fix it with community meetings. You can look forward to making sure we have community meetings. I create a District 5 coalition. That's anyone that cares about our community, that want to be involved, want to make decisions, and want to make sure that we're doing the right thing for our community and our kiddos. We're gonna take that same principle, and we're gonna have District 4 coalition in pockets of District 4, so we're all working together. Because certain parts of District 4 have this, certain things don't have that. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna create that equity. And that transparency and accountability, so we know what's going on at all times, and we know how we're going to work together. So that's one of the things we're going to do. Our police officers going to have to be a part of multiple meetings in our community, because we want to make sure that we know them, we want them to know us, and not just once a month when you're doing the neighborhood association meeting. We want to build relationships with them.
Yeah.
And so we have a new police chief. I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Okay.
So we can build those relationships. But they need to hear from the community. We want safety, but we don't want racial profiling.
Right.
We
Right.
want safety, and we want to make sure that you're cutting back on the crime, but we don't want you to be a part of the crime.
Right.
And so we're going to be very transparent and very vocal about that,
Hmm.
because again, I've protested against
Right.
police brutality. I've been on the front line with organizations that have not treated the black community fairly. If we just want to be honest with you, and now that we're in these seats, trying to build that relationship, I think we're gonna get it done with the help of our community. And if they're not being accountable, we're gonna make them be accountable. We're gonna hold them accountable.
Okay. Yeah, that feels real good. This has been good. I don't do this a lot. Like I just don't. And they asked me to do it, so I said that I would. But yeah, so this has been really good. It's been really informative. You almost make me want to move to District 4.
Come
But
on, man. We need you. Anyone out there listening, y'all move District
yeah,
4.
you
It's getting
almost
ready to
make me
be.
want to
We
move to
got
District 4.
we
But
have the zoo. I don't know if you heard about it. You got the deck park that's coming.
mhm,
Uh that's gonna be our version of Klein Warren
the
Park
thing that's
downtown.
going to be like over the bottom.
Yeah, it's right there.
Uh-huh.
I'm excited about that because we're gonna make sure that our seniors have access to that and the community have
Hmm.
access to that. But we don't have to go downtown anymore if we don't want to. We're gonna have our space right here in District 4, partnering with District 1, which is Chad West, which I think is doing a great job on the council. Uh, and make sure we have those jobs. That economic
Yeah,
engine
I
is
wanted
gonna
you to talk
create
about that.
jobs for
What
that.
what is it going to look like? Because our rate the economic disparity is still deep here. Like it's
Absolutely.
really deep in this part of Oak Cliff, and we know Oak Cliff. So one thing I tell people all the time, when I used to travel a lot, and I would travel with people, and I used to go to a school in California, and I would tell them like these houses that y'all have in Hollywood Hills and all that. I said, child, they all over Oak Cliff. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what I've always loved about Oak Cliff is that on one street you can be in like the hood, and on the next street you can be in like these
Yeah,
extravagant
diversity.
homes, and on the next, and it's always been a beautiful thing to me about Oak Cliff, and I love that, and I don't want to see us lose that. I don't want to see us lose that with gentrification, with redlining, and all of these things that's happening inside of in our community right now, and so that's just a beautiful thing, and so I love it.
We're
But
gonna
there's
protect
a
our single family
lot. Yeah, I was gonna
neighborhoods.
say there's a lot.
Yeah,
So there's
we're gonna do
so
that.
much that we have to fight for it in Oak Cliff, because just like we know this is a jewel, other people looking at it know it's a jewel, and
Absolutely.
before you know it, they'll snatch it from us. So I want to, I hope that you're going to work like what you just said. We're going to protect our community. We're going to protect our single family dwellers. We're going to protect that, like, or making sure that those things are going to happen, because that is always a thing that make Oak Cliff different from any other community in Dallas.
Absolutely.
This Oak Cliff is the heart and soul of
Oak Cliff,
Dallas.
Texas. Yes,
You can't go
absolutely.
nowhere in Dallas without going through Oak
Absolutely.
Cliff. Like you just
Absolutely.
can't.
It's 5 minutes from downtown. In certain parts, is beautiful here. And you're right, the diversity of our neighborhoods. That's why I'm against everybody putting up $400,000 and $500,000 homes. Everybody can't afford no $400,000 and $500,000 home
Right.
next to a $60,000 home or a
Right.
$100,000 home. And so we got to create that balance, and that predatory what I call predatory development
Yeah.
has to stop. We're going to make sure that it's done with integrity, and we're not just gonna let developers just come here and just try to have free range without accountability and talking
Mhm.
to our community and talking to those neighborhood association leaders and presidents so they know what we want over here,
Right.
because we're the ones living here. You're developing, but you're not living over here.
Right.
We're gonna live over here, and we're gonna create that level of transparency and accountability, and that's how we're gonna do it. That's how I've been doing it, and I don't see no need to change because it's working.
And continuing and please, supporting these small business. Like, we're a small organization over here, and it is so important to us that we be a part of what's happening. So we may not be, so it doesn't matter if we're District 4, District 3, District 2. If there is marginalized folk, we serving them. Because
Absolutely,
that's what we do. We go to the people. We are, this organization is the people that we serve. So as you're talking
absolutely.
about it being on the ground, you've been an organizer yourself, you're in that kind of in that kind of place. 90% of the people that work here either volunteered here, or they were people that probably didn't even know if they could even get a job making the
Wow.
kind of money that they make.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, but we were intentional in hiring our community. I didn't go out seeking. There's nothing wrong with it. I have people here. I have doctors here.
Right, 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 right.
So it's nothing to do with people against people education or those who do or those who don't. But we wanted to create a space where everybody could find home.
Yeah,
Everybody could
yeah.
move. And so we may not be in District 4, but it's important to us that we get the support from a District 4, from a different District 5. Like Adam Bazadale should not be the only city council person that we can count on to come here.
You call me, I'm coming.
In time. So you came this time and we thank you for that. And so so I really do appreciate that, and I want to see that happen because it takes the community-based organizations. We may not be a big community-based organization like, I have nothing against Fort Oak Cliff, like a Fort Oak Cliff or whatever. We're just the Appeal Center sitting over here on the block, trying to make sure that we're serving the people that need to be served. Next month, in 3 weeks we have our easy access clinic, where we're here, we work with people. In June, we'll have our Get Tested, Grab a Bite Day, where we do free HIV testing and all other screenings for people. And it's important. So it's like having those people, having our city council people to support that. Like, sometimes I know if Jasmine is not busy, she'll come and support it. But we just can't keep having that support.
Right, absolutely.
Representative Rose is never going to let us have something and she don't have a representative. If she can't come, somebody's going to be here.
Right.
But what do it look like for us to have our city council people that support? And so Clay Jenkins will come from time to time.
That's good.
But what does it mean for us to have our city council people to be a part? That's what we've never had, is real good, rich relationship with city council people. And I'm sure there are probably other nonprofits, I don't know, that may feel the same thing. Because I don't know, people probably struggle with what we do over here because nobody believes in some of the stuff we do. But that's okay. It's got to be the unpopular kids on the block.
We got support.
That brings diversity. You just can't, like you said, you're going to represent all the people, not just the people that voted for you.
Absolutely.
Then we need to show that same kind of support to all of these nonprofit organizations that's trying to do this very valuable work. Whether you are in alignment with everything that they do or not, it is still important. And that we are all, because we are all trying to serve the same people. So I'm going to let you end it. Thank you all for being a part of us today, and whomever it is that's going to be looking at this. But I just want you to tell us why it is so important that we, or whomever the people are, not we, because I don't vote in District 4. And again, y'all, this is not an endorsement because people be trying to get you when you're a nonprofit. We'll talk to anybody. If y'all out there want to talk to us, we will talk to you as long as you're not clowning. But why is it so important that we vote, that the people in Dallas vote for you?
I'm from this community. I was born and raised in this community. And you gave me a chance to represent you on the school board, taking care of your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews. And I've done everything we said we was going to do. What did we promise on the school board? Promise safe learning environments, quality programs, true transparency and accountability and equitable resources. And so we've done that. And you know me, I'm running on my record. I'm not running about what I said I'm going to do. I'm running on what we said we did, working with you in our community. You saw the deplorable conditions that our school was in. You saw funding going to other parts of Dallas, the north part of Dallas, where we was underfunded. And you needed a champion, and I stood up, and we have worked together to get this thing done. Notice you keep hearing me say we work together because one person can't get this job done. So we're going to go now to the city council. I'm going to need your support. Same way you voted for me to be school board trustee, I need you to vote for me again to be our next city council. What we're going to focus on? We're going to focus on public safety. Going to make sure we clean up this community and make sure our community is safe. We're going to focus on economic development, creating an opportunity to give jobs to our community, not just our adults, but also our children, and give resources to them. We're going to focus on our seniors and letting our seniors know that they are the backbone to our community. Make sure they have resources and make sure they have transportations to go with some of the things that we're asking them to enjoy, like our parks, and making sure they have access to the hospitals and let them know that we are supporting them and they are, again, the backbone to our community, and make sure that we're focusing on quality of life. Some of the things that's happening that we are receiving should not be luxury. It's a quality of life. Having access to parks, having access to healthcare, having access to the hospital, having a great learning environment in our community. That's quality of life. And so that's our platform: public safety, economic development. Make sure our seniors know that the backbone of our community and quality of life. We're going to build a community with the community. You're voting for me because I'm the only one in this race that have a proven record to get things done. I'm here. I've been here. I'm accessible. I'm a pastor in this community, and we're going to build a community with the community. I'm number 2 on the ballot, and I'm asking you to vote for Maxie Johnson to be your next Dallas City Council member, District 4.
That was good. And I said I was going to let you be last, but you know what? That was going to be your last question, but that was good. I hate to have to ask you this, but you know what I didn't hear you say anything about?
What?
I I didn't really hear you say anything about access to health care and public health.
I just said it.
I didn't, okay, I didn't quite get that. Okay. This is the field center, so we can do stuff raggedy.
Let's do it. Let's do our
Yeah,
thing.
I just wanted to make sure because as I was sitting here thinking, I said, I guess what I didn't hear, cause, and I'm blaming myself for this. Black maternal health is so important to me. It
Absolutely.
is so important to us. And if we're not talking about Black maternal health on a city level, as well as a national level and all that, that's cute. But our people are dying in our cities. Black maternal health is a major, major problem. And because of the district that you're serving, that's going to be more Black maternal health in
Yes.
those districts than they're going to be in because of all of the other things that happen inside of our space. And so I just want to know, running for this office in this large city, how committed to you are working with organizations like ours and others to end or continue to decrease maternal health. Like there are so many ways that we can do this. You have doulas, so our organization have doulas, and then there are midwives out there, and but these doulas, sometimes doulas are literally working in poverty. Like they don't get paid. We know Medicaid is not enough. We don't know what that's going to look like anyway for people to live
Exactly.
off of and to have to depend on that. Like, how do you think that you can work with community-based spaces to make sure that people have access to doulas and midwives and all these other ways in which we know, because the data tells us that if a Black woman have a Black doula or work or birthing team, it tremendously decreases maternal mortality. Like
Wow.
those numbers go down. That's just with the doula, not the midwife or anything else, just having the doula in place because so much happens in postpartum.
Mhm.
And so you still have the doula there. Is there ways in which you can work with the city of Dallas to create block grants or things like that would allow opportunities for funding of doulas or programs like that to help address Black maternal health, because it's maternal and infant mortality, but the Black maternal rate is so high. And just being committed to that and working with organizations who's working to end that maternal health.
Absolutely. Making sure our Black women and all women have the resources that they need is important. Uh, Most of us was raised by a mom.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you're blessed if you have both parents in our community.
Yes.
You're blessed if you have both parents in the house. So what I'm committed to is working with organizations like yours, speaking with the city manager, going over the budget, and seeing what funding we can do to support and bring those extra resources in to support our Black women and our children, even our young children that's having.
Oh yeah, we definitely want to work with. We don't want babies to keep having babies,
Right.
But if babies gonna have babies, we want babies to be well informed, to be healthy, to be able to have
Absolutely.
all the resources that they need. That it doesn't stop there.
Absolutely. My daughter just have a child and just had a baby boy, and so I understand the blight that we have when it comes to that. Then we got a president that's trying to take health care away from everybody, which is absurd, right? So you have my commitment that I will go and advocate and work with you because you're the expert in this area. And I tell people, I don't act like I know everything. So if you want a council member that's gonna act like they know everything, I'm not your guy. But if you want a
That
council
part.
member that's gonna say, hey, you're the expert in this, educate me on what we need to do and how we need to do it, and let me go down there and be your voice and get things done. That's why I said every idea that you see happening in my school board district, that didn't come, all those didn't come from me. That's a working with the community, and that's what we're gonna bring. We're gonna work with the community. We're gonna work with your organization, and I'm here.
Okay.
And I'm going to be here, and fight for those resources. And when you say you need, I give you my word that I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna speak with our council. I'm gonna speak with our city manager and say, hey, who's a black woman herself that understands the health of black women and all women,
Right,
and we're
right.
gonna make sure that gets done. So you have my commitment.
Thank you for that. Because I guess I was listening for a thing and I was like, I didn't hear, we didn't talk about maternal health. So thank you
No,
for
that's
that.
important.
So really, thank you so much. This has been great. And we pretty much hit it on those.
Oh, did we? Okay.
It's just 127.
Now listen,
So,
May 3rd is May 3rd because people
yeah,
like,
you
when,
got to tell the people that.
like May
I
3rd,
can't tell them that.
everyone
You got to tell the people that.
is Saturday. Okay. Now, y'all know they fighting me because I speak truth to power, and we've done a great job working together in this community. So I need you all to go out May 3rd, this Saturday. The polls are open. You don't have to next Tuesday, next Monday. It's this Saturday. You can go to the library on Keys, and you know you're at the right place when you look to the right and you see that John Lewis Social Justice Academy at O.W. Homes that we're building an $80 million building. You look right across the street, that's the library. So we have polls available that's going to be open. Research the polls. Make sure you go this Saturday from 7 to 7, May 3rd, and go vote for Maxie Johnson, District 4, Maxie Johnson. And there's a guy that's running in my seat, Byron Sanders. So I have supported him. So you guys can vote for him as well. But I need your support. Can't get there without you. Y'all make sure that we're in city council so we can continue to do this work and work with this organization and other organizations that's doing the real work in our community. All right. So I look forward to seeing y'all. I'm gonna be there. So y'all come shake hands with me. Let me know you're there to vote for Maxie Johnson. I'm number 2 on the ballot. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very
Thank you
much.
for inviting me.
Sure. Thank you for coming. That's it.